Hey friends of Azeroth, Arida here from WoWMarketeer, and I'm here today to show you how the ore shuffle is done. Now I've touched base on this method in one of my previous videos, but I didn't go over exactly how the whole process is done. A few things I want to mention from the beginning is the way I do the ore shuffle may differ from how other people do it depending on what professions you have. In my version of the shuffle, I use my Jewelcrafter, Transmute Alchemist, and my Enchanter. To make this easier, I'm going to split this video into 3 parts based on the professions I use. The first part is jewel crafting, and this includes buying ore, prospecting it for gems, then making rings out of the green quality gems you get, as well as cutting the other higher quality gems to sell on your auction house. Just be sure that you don't get color confused with quality. If you have a transmute alchemist like I do, it's best to save your carnelians to send over to be transmuted. And this brings us to part 2 of the shuffle. So I typically save the red color, green quality gems, which in this case it's carnelians, to transmute into inferno rubies. Again, don't confuse color with quality, and I say it that way because the shuffle works the same way even with the new gems that we see in the new expansions. Because the cost of red cup gems are far more profitable than creating carnelian spikes. So it takes 3 carnelians and 3 heart blossom for 1 transmute. But the best part about being a transmute spec alchemist is you have a chance to proc up to 5 inferno rubies, but usually it's only about 2 at most. But don't get discouraged. Before I started transmuting, I could make 53 inferno rubies, but in the end, because of my transmute spec, I ended up with 65, meaning I procced an extra 12 rubies, so you can see it's well worth being a transmute spec alchemist. So once I'm done transmuting the red gems, I send them back to my JC to cut into the best-selling gems on the auction house. Okay, so the final part of the ore shuffle for me is all about making rings to disenchant. Some people prefer to make the rings and sell them, like I mentioned in part 1, if they don't have an enchanter. I, on the other hand, do have an enchanter. In fact, I have 2. So I make the rings and necklaces on my JC, then send them to my enchanter to DE for loads of enchanting mats. So what this allows me to do is basically kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Not only do I get gems to cut and sell, but I also get enchant mats for making enchant scrolls to sell. You'll end up with more dust than anything, but in the end I'm able to make some very profitable enchanting scrolls. And you can always use that leftover hypnotic dust to make ember silk bags, which also fetch a fat coin. That concludes the ore shuffle, and keep in mind this shuffle can be used the same way in the upcoming expansions and patches in World of Warcraft. I'm Arida, and I bid you guys all auction house success. Thank you for coming by and watching the video, and I hope you guys click that like button. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey Arida, what do you do with that Zephyrite you get from prospecting ore?
F***ing Zephyrite, it's always taking up so much space in my bank. You know what? F*** this. I'm just gonna f***ing vend it all. I'm sick of this shit. And you can always use that leftover, what is it? Hypnotic dust? Yeah, that's what it is. And you can always use that leftover hypnotic dust to make ember silks. You can do this!